Hey, welcome to Jofer Jeff. I'm Jeff, and I thought today I'd share a little bit of my video collection. It's been great talking to people, and they're really interested about all the movies I have and what ones I need and how I keep them and everything. So I'm really big on digital movies. I have a Vudu account. It's got close to about 1,000 movies on it, and if I want to watch a lot of my horror movies, that's the format I'll watch them on. With a lot of the stuff I have on YouTube, I have that on a hard drive, and I've been keeping those. Basically, if a movie is very hard to find, either I have a copy or someone else has a copy, they'll rip it to the computer, and then they'll just send me that copy. So a lot of my rare stuff is, I don't have the physical copy, like I won't have the VHS tape or out-of-print DVD, but I'll have it on my computer as usually an AVI file or something. And I've got about a couple hundred movies like those. DVDs I don't really collect for. Now when DVDs first came out I did, but then I stopped rather quickly. Got kind of expensive. I have a couple hundred DVDs. I usually buy them at $1 or $2 a pop, usually at thrift stores, pawn shops, resale shops. It's a nice way to keep your collection. You know, it's a cheap movie basically, and that's why I've got so many. What I've been really collecting with horror recently are Blu-rays, and I love Blu-rays the best. And I've been collecting since about 2007. I got rid of my collection a few years ago, and then I started doing it again. So I thought I'd go through some of my collection and show you some movies that you should have in your collection. I'll start with my rare ones. I only have two. First one is Sorority House Massacre. Now this is a terrible movie. It's a Halloween ripoff. It doesn't even apologize for it. Roger Corman did it. This is a limited run. I believe there are like 1,500 copies, maybe less, and it runs for about $40. If you can get it for like $35, I'd say get it. Like I said, it's not a great movie, but it's rare. It's hard to find, and I really wanted it. I like watching it, even though it's so bad. Yeah, like I said, $40 for this one, overpriced, but I had to have it. Just Before Dawn. This is another $40 movie. I love this movie. This is a fun movie. This is a group of kids go camping in the woods, run across some redneck hillbillies who murder them. Now, usually I like to spend about $20 on a Blu-ray. I do make some exceptions. Arrow Video makes some great Blu-rays, but they're usually about $28 brand new. I don't see them used in the store very often, so I have to buy them through Amazon. I got Blood Rage. I liked this movie. I saw it as Nightmare at Shadow Woods, and it was one of those movies I saw on cable and then forgot all about it. And then years later I decided to look it up, and oh, it's Blood Rage. It's a great movie. Like Just Before Dawn, twins. The other one I have is The Mutilator. I saw this on cable. It was awesome. I ended up buying a English DVD, Region 2, and it was a really crappy copy, very dark. I'm glad this got a Blu-ray release. I watched this the other night. It was awesome. I love shark movies. I refuse to apologize. I got all 4 Jaws movies. Let me see. Jaws 1 has been out for quite a while. You can get this for like $7. But 2, 3, and 4 came out. They were $10 each. I had to have them. I love every Jaws movie there is. Even Jaws the Revenge. I like Jaws the Revenge. Let's start with Scream Factory. Scream Factory is my favorite Blu-ray release company. They do awesome movies. Final Exam. Now this took forever to hit DVD. This was one of those movies you could only get on VHS for the longest time, just like Curtains. And this is a great copy. Slumber Party Massacre. I do not have part 2 and 3. I don't like 2 and 3 that much, but this one is awesome and it looks great too. Town That Dreaded Sundown. I don't like this movie. It's very slow, very boring, but it was $10, so I'll take it. The Halloween Complete Collection. I had a bunch of them individually. This was like $35. You can get it new for $50. It was nice to have them all. I hear there's a problem with part 4, but I haven't run into it. The Burning. Awesome. Love this movie. This too didn't hit DVD for quite a while, and it completely passed me by when it came out. I didn't know about this for years later. And my brother is into progressive rock, so he's really big into Yes and Asia and Emerson, Lake and Palmer. So he kind of got me into this because Rick Wakeman of Anderson, Buford, Wakeman and Howe, he did the soundtrack. It's very prog rock, lots of keyboards. Think Tangerine Dream. The Funhouse. I don't like this movie. I don't know why I have this Blu-ray. I think it was super cheap too. It's a slasher, but it's got a really low body count. Got a cool killer though. Dark Angel. This came out in the theaters as I Come in Peace. Not a horror movie. It's actually an alien drug dealer versus Dolph Lundgren. I love this movie. This is so much fun. And it's going to sit in my collection too. Alright, other one I have is Scream Factory does a lot of double releases, double features. This is X-Ray, also known as Hospital Massacre, and then it's Schizoid with Klaus Kinski. Schizoid's kind of a whodunit slasher, while X-Ray is the killer is dressed up in full surgical gear, which makes it weird because he walks around the hospital with a face mask on. Think Last Slumber Party, except a little bit better. And you'll know who the killer is pretty quick. Some of the other ones. This is Syndrome. This is Madman. Scream Factory is also doing a release of this. This was the first release. It's really good. I love Madman. Anchor Bay had a DVD release. It's worth a lot of money now. I wish I'd still have that one, but I love this movie. Madman Mars. I wish they would do a reboot of this. The Prowler. This is Blue Underground. Blue Underground does a lot of horror, but they also do a lot of kind of cult films too. So not everything is great. They do Uncle Sam. Anything with William Lustig, the director of Maniac. Anything he's done. He owns part of Blue Underground, so anything he does comes out on Blue Underground. Prowler, great movie. Awesome ending scene. To All a Good Night. This is the best Santa slasher movie. I don't care about Silent Night, Deadly Night, or anything else. This is it. And Jennifer Runyon from Charles in Charge is in it. That's a really great movie. David Hess directed this from Last House on the Left, the actor. And I think he does a good job. On VHS, this was really dark. You couldn't see it. Kind of like Humongous. All media releases were so dark you couldn't see anything. They really lightened this one up. It looks great. Let me see. This one is Olive Films. This is the Boogans. Think Killer Mutant Turtles. They really do look like turtles. They look like Gamera, basically, but they're really small. The thing with Olive Films is their cover art looks really cheap. I don't know if you can see that, but it looks like they just printed it on a home computer. The DVD release, though, was really good. This was a little weird. I had mentioned William Lustig owns Blue Underground, so you'd think Maniac Cop would be on Blue Underground. This is actually part of Synapse, Maniac Cop. I do like all three. 2 and 3 are actually really good. They kill off Bruce Campbell pretty quick in part 2. And then Robert DeVee takes over for 2 and 3. Still like the series. This was a good one, really well made, and it looks great on Blu-ray. Prom Night, I thought this was Scream Factory at first, but no, it's Synapse too. Reason is, and this is true with a lot of Scream Factory, they have reversible cover art. So you can pick which one you want. And so does this one. I like this cover. It's an awesome cover. This too. Anchor Bay had an original DVD release, but that went out of print for a while, and then it came back. It was full screen. It didn't really look very good. You can find Prom Night on DVD really easy. But if you want the letterbox one, you have to get the Anchor Bay version. Now I've got some just basically cheap ones. This just came out a little while ago. Final Girls, great movie, really funny. If you're a fan of slasher movies, you'll get all the jokes. Scream, this was like $5, believe it or not. Just a re-release. I haven't gotten the box set yet. I was kind of hoping they'd do another one with Scream 4. They have yet to do that, so I might just hold on to this. Hopefully there'll be a box set in the future. Halloween 2, this is a Universal release. The only reason I have this, Terror in the Aisles is a bonus movie. That's a kind of a documentary about horror movies with Donald Pleasance and Nancy Allen. And this is the only place you can get it. They don't have it as a separate release anywhere. So while I have the Halloween collection, I also keep a copy of this for Terror of the Aisles. Friday the 13th, the reboot. I must be the only Friday the 13th fan who loves this movie. Sure, it's not as great as the original, but let's remember the original Friday the 13th movies weren't exactly Shakespeare. So a decent Friday the 13th movie still doesn't make it a good movie. I like this one. I was a big fan of it. I'm a little surprised they didn't make a sequel to it. They're going to reboot it again, I guess. Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. I don't know why I have this, quite honestly. I think you get this copy with the Screen Factory collection. I ended up buying this for like a couple of bucks so I could get the digital copy, because you can't get a UV copy of Halloween movies unless you buy them directly from Ultraviolet, and they're really overpriced. So I ended up buying this one and just tossing it in a pile. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. This is a fun movie. It takes every Killer Hillbilly movie and puts it together, and I had so much fun with this. A friend of mine turned me on to this. He said he works at a movie theater. He said, I'm going to have a midnight showing, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I showed up and laughed my ass off. Hatchet 2, I do not have Hatchet 1 and 3. I love all the Hatchet movies. This is an awesome movie. A.J. Bowen is in it. He was in A Horrible Way to Die, and I think he ended up in You're Next. He's got the funniest character, and he dies during sex, which is disappointing. Amusement, I like this movie. I highly recommend it. It's kind of an anthology series. There are 3 separate stories, but they're all bound together. It's basically about 3 childhood friends, and when they grow up, they're each stalked by a different killer. And it turns out at the end they've all been kidnapped by the same killer. And I'm not going to explain how it ends, but it's a really good movie. It did not get a lot of love. You can find this pretty cheap if you can find it. It didn't really sell a lot, but I love this movie. Savage Weekend from 1979, proto-slasher, really good movie. Track this one down. I had this for the longest time on VHS. I'm so glad it got a Blu-ray release. It looks really great, and it has really awesome cover art. Silent Night, Deadly Night. I know everybody likes part 2 because it's so bad, it's good. This I remember, I was old enough to remember the commercials for it when it came out. And the reason was, they were airing the commercials during the day. A lot of people don't remember this. I remember watching The Price is Right when I was a really little kid, and they ran a commercial for The Grim Reaper, Anthropophagus or whatever the heck it is, but it's an Italian horror movie, and it's very gory. And they were running commercials for this during the day at like 10 in the morning. And they did the same thing with Silent Night, Deadly Night. So little kids would see Santa Claus murdering people, and that was probably a bad idea. This is a good movie, though. Stay away from anything past part 3. 3 was okay. 4 is shit. 5 isn't even really a horror movie. My Bloody Valentine 3D. If anybody has the original Blu-ray for the 1981 movie, feel free to send it to me as an act of love. I've had it. I got rid of it for some dumb reason. And then when I went to buy it back, or buy another copy, it went out of print for some strange reason. And now it's hard to find. See No Evil 2. I saw See No Evil in the movie theater. Loved it. Thought it was pretty cool. Very dark and gritty. I liked what they did with it. Part 2 takes it a little differently. It's Jason Goodnight lives. They don't really explain that really well because they did a really good job of killing him in part 1. But anyway, he wakes up in the coroner's office and starts working his way through everybody there. The ending is really stupid. It makes no sense, and I'll tell you why. Spoiler alert. So at the end, there's this one guy left. He's the final survivor. It's not the person you think it is. It's kind of the jerk. But anyway, he thinks he killed Jacob Goodnight, and he gets out of the building to leave. He goes to his car, unlocks his car with his key, gets in, drives to the gate, gets out to open the gate, turns around, finds his car door open. Oh my gosh, Jacob Goodnight was in my car, and then he turns around again, and there's Jacob Goodnight who kills him. How did Jacob Goodnight know it was his car? How did Jacob Goodnight get in without opening the doors, because he needed a key to? And how did a 7-foot, 300 and something pound man fit in the back seat of that small car without noting? He didn't lower the car at all. It's not like Jacob Goodnight is a tiny man. There's no way he would have fit in the back seat. If you can believe all that, then the movie's good. If you take issue with it like I do, it kind of ruins the movie a little bit. Finally, we got Nightmare on Elm Street, the complete collection, all 7 movies. I got this for like 15 bucks. I couldn't turn it down. I've never been a huge Nightmare on Elm Street fan. I barely consider them slasher movies. But the first one scared the living shit out of me when I was a kid, so I have fond memories of that one. And $2 a movie, what the hell? I picked this one up the other day. Woman in Black 2. I've never seen Woman in Black 1. I'm not really a big fan of ghost movies. I'll probably give this a watch and then send it out on Patreon or something like that. And then The Invoking and The Wicked. Now, I've seen The Wicked and I saw The Invoking Part 2. I haven't seen this one yet. They're both cheap movies. Wicked was pretty good. It's about a witch who kidnaps children. She lives in a haunted house. It feels like it could be like an episode of Goosebumps, kind of. But it wasn't terrible, and pretty good special effects. So that's what I've got so far. And like I said, I'm always kind of building. I think the next thing I want to pick up is Don't Go in the Woods Alone. And if you want to buy that for me, you go right ahead. But when I get another selection, I'll have another video for you. Let me know what you got in your collection. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. This is Jofer Jeff saying thanks a lot.